Hey guys, it's your boy Spunky, and in today's video I'm gonna tell you about a really good game that no one plays. It's called Sonic Racing. At least that's what I call it. The real name is Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, and it is a kart racing game, and it features Sonic and a bunch of his friends, and a few random characters thrown in there. It's a really good kart racing game. The kart racing is fast, it's fluid, there's a good sense of speed, some responsive controls, and it's really easy to pick up, and it's rewarding for those who decide to master it. And what sets this game apart is that each character's vehicle can transform to either a boat or an airplane. And while karts usually provide the best control, airplanes offer the greatest amount of freedom to explore the track, and boats, they're boats, and water physics are water physics. It's not that boats are horrible vehicles or anything, but they're definitely my least favorite out of the three. So you don't completely control the vehicle transformations, rather the track will dictate the transformations based on the upcoming terrain. But if you get real lucky, you'll be able to pilot all three vehicles in the same race. I also like that this game has a drifting mechanic, which is quite easy to pick up, and it makes driving way more fun. Before I discovered drifting, I thought this game was a completely average kart racer. But once I learned that you can drift, the game, at least in my mind, became best kart racer ever made. Not only will drifting allow you to make tighter corners, but if you hold out your drift long enough, you'll get an instant speed boost, which can be really helpful if you want your opponents to eat some dust. You can also get some speed boosts by doing tricks whenever you get in the air. The more tricks you do, the more boost you'll get once you land on the ground. But be careful though, if you can't stick the landing, you're gonna get wrecked. And if you get wrecked, you'll probably end up in last place. So make sure you know which parts of the tracks are suitable for multiple aerial tricks. Speaking of tracks, Sonic Racing includes 25 colorful tracks and arenas modeled after Sega's vast gaming history. And these tracks, let me tell you, are really, really good. Not only do they look good, and I'll let you judge the track's visual quality yourself, but these tracks play really well no matter what game mode you're playing. And these tracks often split their paths, and they hold a few shortcuts here and there, and they can be quite tricky to master. Oh, and there's road hazards. Watch out for those too. Something else to look out for is the dynamically changing tracks. There are certain tracks that will dynamically change after each lap, so the racetrack you play through in the first lap can be completely different than the one that you race through in the third and final lap. My favorite example of this is the Skies of Arcadia track. The first lap through the track is completely normal. You start out in a kart, then there's an air section later, and if you choose your path correctly, you can even get some boat action in, all in the first lap. The second time around, you're racing through the same track, but in the background there's this huge invasion, and the track that you're racing through is slowly getting destroyed. So much, in fact, that by the time you reach your third lap, the track has been completely wrecked, leaving you to finish the race looking above in an airplane. How cool is that? Something else you should be looking out for is all these power-ups spread across the track. None of the pickups in the game are overly cheap. They all require a certain degree of skill to use. Also, none of the weapons or power-ups will target the racer that's in the lead. And I'm glad to report that no weapon or power-up is going to take a player from the back of the pack all the way to the number one spot. You gotta earn that yourself. So, the main game modes include a Grand Prix mode and a World Tour mode, which is probably where you'll spend the majority of your time, if you have no friends. The Grand Prix mode is nothing special. There's 5 cups, each containing 4 races. You compete in the 4 races and try to get the best average placing, which will award you a nice first place trophy. Meanwhile, the World Tour mode has you participating in a variety of challenging events for stars. Each event has different difficulties, and you get more stars for completing the event at the hard difficulty as opposed to the easy or medium difficulties. And while I find the hard difficulty to be quite challenging in some events, after you complete the World Tour, you then unlock Expert difficulty, and that really is a challenge. So with these stars that you earn, you can use them to progress through the world tour, as well as unlock some new drivers, some new vehicle mods, which can be used to alter the attributes of your character's ride. So while the races in the Grand Prix mode are, well, just your average races, the World Tour mode offers a wide variety of activities to push your driving abilities to the edge. And some of my favorites are drift races, where you gotta drift on colored sections of the track and make sure you stay on those sections of the track to keep the timer from winding down and expiring. Then there's boost races, where there's a bunch of boosters on the track and you gotta go fast, because if you're going any slower than top speed, then the timer starts counting down to your demise. And then traffic races are pretty cool, where there's a moving checkpoint that you gotta cross, but then there's these scumbag cars that legitimately want to wreck you, so you're gonna have to put your maneuvering skills to the test. You gotta juke out all these cars in traffic to cross these moving checkpoints. And then there's this versus mode, where there's a number of characters you gotta take out, but you gotta take them out one at a time. I call it 1v1 mode. It's kind of like the single player mode of a fighting game. And then there's a freaking tank battle. Not tank races, because racing a tank would be really freaking dumb. If you're a cool cat, you could play with up to 3 of your friends locally on the Steam version, which, by the way, is the version of this game that I play. And you could play with those guys and trash talk all you want, or you could set up a 10-player online lobby and trash talk those guys. And you can even take your 3 local friends online with you, and you could bully everyone if you want. And along with standard races, which also includes battle races and drift races, you can battle your buddies in a battle arena setting to prove once and for all which one of your friends or foes truly is the best.
I don't have time for you. It's third lap at the end, and hello.
So what else can I say about Sonic Racing? You get a ragtag group of racers, you throw them in one game, you get some nice tracks, you got some good weapons, you got this really hard World Tour mode, and you got 4-player multiplayer locally and 10 players online, and a mix of both, and you just got good times all around. So that's why I think Sonic Racing is great. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of the video and of the game. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, whenever that is. Laters.